Hey, what's up, guys? Run a Bunch here, bringing you another installment of the most under the radar sports betting and sports talk show on YouTube, the Run a Bunch Sports Show. So, guys, let's go ahead and get right into it. Congratulations, we have made it to March Madness. Very exciting weekend planned for everyone. I hope everyone's going to watch all the games like me. But before we get into the excitement of the March Madness picks that I have for you guys today and for some for tomorrow, we're going to start out with some NBA picks. So let's go ahead and get right into the show today, guys. So let's go ahead to the NBA tab here on Action Network. I'd be curious to know if you guys are actually using this Action Network platform or anything. I find it very convenient to help me get updates on all my bets. They'll send you notifications and stuff like through the app. So it's pretty convenient for me to, be not necessarily watching all the games, but I get notifications of how my bets are doing, and it gives you I think it gives you like a thumbs up or something, like a thumbs up emoji if your bet's doing well, and it gives you kind of like a sad crying emoji face if your bet's not doing well. So it's kind of fun. So I'd be curious to see if you guys are using that and enjoying it like I do. So sorry, didn't mean to go off in one direction. All right, so my first NBA pick for this evening is going to be the late game. This game is at 10 p.m. tonight. I have the Portland Trailblazers plus 3.5 versus the Dallas Mavericks. And my reasoning for this, so Portland is 24-16 overall, as you can see right here. And they're also 13-7 at home, which is pretty good. It's almost a 750 record. And I mean, they're only 19-18 against the spread, but I did a little bit of extra digging here and found out that they are 10-7 against the spread as an underdog this season, and a lot of those 10 wins come from being a home underdog. So I like Portland as a home underdog in a lot of situations. I also will say that CJ McCollum's been back now for a couple games, and I think that first game there was kind of some rust that he kind of had to shake off a little bit. I think tonight and for games coming up in the future, we will see a better CJ McCollum and a better overall offensive unit. Dallas is just kind of back and forth for me. They have been hot here and there, but I don't necessarily trust Dallas on the road. I like them at home. If they were at home right now, I'd probably take them, but I like Portland in this game. So moving to our second NBA pick and our last NBA pick for the evening. All right, so my second and last NBA pick this evening, I like the Utah Jazz -5 versus the Toronto Raptors. Now, my reasoning for this, I'm basically jumping on the Utah bandwagon in terms of I think they're a really solid team, and they're, as you can see here, they're 29-11 overall, and they are also 25-13 against the spread, which I think either ties or is the best record against the spread in the NBA. And I think they've just made a lot of people a lot of money over the season, and I'd like to jump on that train. They just lost a game. They lost who did they lose to? I want to say it was the Washington Wizards. They just lost a weird game at the Wizards. I don't see this team losing 2 games in a row. I just don't. They don't lose 2 games in a row. I haven't seen them do it all season. The Toronto Raptors are losers of every game this March. I think they are 0-5 in the month of March. This just kind of feels like a bad time for Toronto to be playing Utah. I think Utah is one of the hottest teams in the NBA despite their losing their last game. I just feel like this is bad timing for that, and I think it's going to be a lopsided matchup, so I like that -5 number. I honestly like that number all the way up to 7. And as you can see down here, most places have it about -5, and surprisingly, a lot of the tickets are on the Toronto Raptors, which I find interesting. But I don't really see a situation where they win, but they're also a home underdog. So, but like I said, I'm riding with the Utah Jazz bandwagon, one of the best teams against the spread. I'm going to jump on it tonight. So that'll do it for NBA this evening. I'm moving on to the NHL. And tonight, I like the Washington Capitals money line versus the New York Rangers. I don't know why up here it says New York Rangers and then Rangers. That's kind of funny, the Rangers. The Capitals this season, as you can see right here, are 19-6-4, and they're also a solid 9-3-2 at home. And they also are currently on a 5-game win streak. When you compare that to the Rangers, this 12-12-4, very average. They're also very average on the road. They're 6-6-1 in their away games. And honestly, I really I don't have a ton of numbers to back up this, but I just really like the value on the Washington Capitals. I had it at like -127 about an hour ago. It looks like it's moved up. The best place you can get it is Bet 365. I don't know what that is, but it's at -130. Other places are having it at -137, 142. So I would jump on that one quickly, guys, because that game is at 7 p.m. tonight. Make sure you get on that. It looks like a lot of the money is actually coming in on the Rangers, but that's probably just because the value on here. I don't see the Rangers winning this game. I like the fact that the Capitals are on such a hot streak, and I think that their home record is impressive enough for me to take them this evening. So that'll do it for NHL tonight. Moving on. So this will be my one and only Major League Baseball pick for this evening. Not a lot of good numbers tonight. I wonder if something happened because the spread is actually moving. I don't think anyone really seems to have a jump on this game. I got this game with Pittsburgh around like -115, but it looks like the numbers actually jumped here on DraftKings to +100. So that's awesome. Getting into my pick, sorry guys. Getting into my pick, I like the Pirates money line versus the Orioles tonight. Pittsburgh is 8-8 overall, which I know is fairly average, but they are 5-3 at home, which is a little bit above average. But more of the reason for me picking this, Baltimore's 5-11 in spring training so far, which is below average, and they're a horrible 1-7 on the road. 1 win, 7 losses on the road. I like how high of a chance there is here for them to lose this road game. I think because the Pirates are the Pirates and they've been so bad for so long that the spread's so close and no one can really gauge this game because the Pirates are not a good team. But it looks to me like Baltimore is either equally as bad or worse, at least in spring training. So I like Pittsburgh to win this game, especially at +100. That is great value. I got them. I even have on my list here that the -115 that I thought that was great value. So this is awesome value at +100 here on DraftKings. I don't know what Sugar House is. That sounds like an interesting app. Might have to check that one out. But DraftKings, FanDuel has it at -128, which is interesting, the contrast between these two, because typically these two are pretty much on the same page. But I think that just shows you that no one really knows what's going on with Pittsburgh. So that's my MLB pick for tonight. All right, guys, so we're moving on. This is everyone's favorite, including myself. I don't know about you guys, but this is at least my favorite segment for this episode. We're getting straight into the NCAA basketball tournament, the first round, the round of 64. There are 64 teams, which means there's 32 games over the next 2 days of some pretty awesome competition. So, I'm very excited for my picks for today and for tomorrow. There will also be an episode tomorrow giving out more picks. I'm just giving a few picks out today. Now, getting right into it, I think I'd already explained to you guys in the last episode yesterday, because this game's so early, 1:45 p.m. today, I like the Utah State Aggies +4 versus the Texas Tech Red Raiders. I like that game a lot. And then I also gave you guys, here we go. I also said yesterday that I like Oregon State plus 8.5 versus Tennessee. I gave my reasonings for both of those picks yesterday. So if you want the reasonings for those picks, go back to the episode yesterday and give that one a watch. Now, moving on into a few later games for today. Wait for this to load. All right, now moving into the later games today. My third pick technically, but my first pick that I'm going to explain. I like the North Carolina Tar Heels money line versus the Wisconsin Badgers. Now, this game is at 7:10 p.m. tonight, and my reasoning for liking North Carolina, it's a little bit different than most of my reasonings. Both of these teams have very similar records overall and also against the spread. But for me, UNC has just played better down the stretch. Though, I mean, a lot of times, playing well at the right time can carry a team through the tournament. And I think UNC's kind of found their stride in the last month or so. I think they got a tough break against Florida State in the ACC semifinal. I think that was kind of a game that I think they could have won, but just down the stretch, I think Florida State was I think they were just a better team. So I don't believe Wisconsin is at the same stature as Florida State. So I definitely think UNC playing as well as they are, I think that can carry them to a win here. Plus, UNC is one of, if not the best, rebounding teams in the entire country. Their front court is extremely tall. Their guards are the reason kind of why they've been struggling at the beginning of the season. They need to get their guards kind of, in the flow and the swing of things. UNC, their front court is just tall. They get rebounds. One of the best, if not the best teams in rebounding category in the entire country. I like them to move on against Wisconsin. That really hasn't proven much to me this season. Very up and down. And I think UNC will make a very intriguing matchup for Baylor in the second round with that rebounding. So moving on to my last game for today. All right, guys, my last pick for NCAA basketball for today. And, I hate to do this to myself because this is just really hard. I hope it lets me click on this. Like I said, this one really hurts my soul, but I have to go with Morehead State Eagles plus 13 versus the West Virginia Mountaineers. Now, my reasoning for this, Morehead State is 23-7 overall, and they're also an impressive 19-9 against the spread, which is pretty good for a collegiate team. Mountaineers are a respectable 18-9, of course, in the Big 12, which is one of the hardest conferences in the country, if not the. I'm not going to say the because I'm not biased, but they're only 13-14 against the spread, which is not good. As of late, especially, they've been bad. Their few tussles with Oklahoma State, and of course, their weird game that against TCU, they haven't covered in the last 3 of their games. So I have to, kind of fade them in this game. I do think they win. I think West Virginia has the talent, and I think they have had a break. I definitely think they'll win this game, but I don't see them winning by double digits. Do you want to know how many WVU games have been won by double digits in the year of 2021? 2. 2 of them they've won by double digits. And both of those were 2 teams that were not that good. So I think WVU ultimately wins this game by probably 7 or 8 points maybe. But I don't see them winning this by double digits or even more than 13 points. So give me Morehead State and the plus 13. So that is my NCAA picks for today. Now I'm going to give you guys 1 or 2 for tomorrow, just to kind of, because tomorrow's probably going to be a lot of picks for me. So I want to get some out today. So that way it's not just overload for tomorrow, even though this episode might be a little bit overload now. one of the reasons why I took this game is because it is so, well, it's not that early in the day, actually. Oh, well, actually it is because the time just changed. Okay. My reasoning for why I'm taking this game now is because it's so early tomorrow, and I don't think I get an episode out in time. This game is at 12:15 p.m. I like Georgetown plus 6.5, like the Hoyas, against the Colorado Buffaloes. Now, Georgetown's led by, Hall of Fame player, now coach, Patrick Ewing, and they have been kind of a disappointing 13-12 this season. I honestly think his job was on the line, but they ultimately showed up when it mattered, and they won the Big East tournament to get here in this tournament. They got the automatic bid, and they are currently on a hot streak of wins, and they're surprising 16-9 against the spread, which tells me that even though they've been losing some games, they've been close. I think it saved Patrick Ewing's job, honestly. Colorado is the better team, in my opinion. Colorado is 22-8 overall, but they're only 17-13 against the spread. I like Georgetown a lot in this game to cover. I think that 6.5 that I have them at, well, actually, it seems like a lot of places are starting to go down to +6, +5.5. So maybe a lot of other people like the +6.5 that I had as well. That line's starting to move, so I would definitely jump on that. I like them to cover in this situation, but I don't like them to win. Interesting enough, it looks like 56% of the tickets are on Colorado. I'm really curious to know how much money is on Georgetown, but that is for people that like to pay for this kind of thing, and I do not do that. So, but I do like Georgetown to cover. So going back here, we're going to go back to, let's see, this is going to be my last NCAA pick for today. This game is also for tomorrow. All right, so I like the UConn Huskies -3 versus the Maryland Terrapins. Now, UConn is 15-7 overall this season, and they're also a pretty good 16-5-1 against the spread, which tells me whenever they win games, they cover. While Maryland is only 16-13 overall, and they have been a below average of 12-16 against the spread. Maryland overall has just been up and down this season. And to me, this is a UConn Huskies team that is peaking at absolutely the right time. They looked really, really good in the Big East tournament. They just lost to a Creighton team that kind of got hot. That Creighton team is up and down in terms of shooting, and they happened to be up when they played UConn. But I like UConn in this game as the 7th seed to beat a 10th seed Maryland and end their season early. So, guys, that is pretty much going to wrap up my picks for today. Tons of picks. We had NBA, NHL, MLB, and NCAA. I think we ended up having a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games for today, and then 2 for tomorrow. So, jam-packed episode, but that's what March is like. March is full of sports. So just a very quick recap of what we did yesterday. Yesterday we went 2-2-1. The tie being Drake -1. They came back. They struggled yesterday. They came back and they won. Went 2-2. I went. I believe it was 1-0 in baseball, and then the 1-0-1 in NCAA, and then went 0-2 in the NBA. I don't know where that happened with the NBA. Teams just were kind of, throwing statistics aside and playing their own game. So that kind of sucked. And that moved my lock of the day to 6-6 because the Atlanta Hawks actually blew out the Oklahoma City Thunder. That was a crazy game. I was not expecting that. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps this one up. Don't forget to like, subscribe. My poor man sweepstakes is officially over. That is over. You can no longer comment on that. And guys, don't forget to check out my referral links in the description below. I have links for you guys to click to help me out, that help you out, to help me out. So yeah, guys, just go ahead and check that out. I appreciate every one of you watching. all you sports bettors and sports fanatics have a wonderful Friday afternoon and evening, and cue the outro.